1,000,000 reasons why I'm starting Project Pan in 2026.
She said she had a million reasons to start Project Pan 2026, then span her camera around, and suddenly everything made sense. Drawers overflowing with makeup, shelves packed with skincare, and enough product that could last for years. This isn't just a Project Pan, this is a wake-up call. Today, I want to talk about this creator named Rosa B. I don't know whether that's the real pronunciation of her name. She has over 4,000 followers on TikTok. And her bio says she's a beauty lover, a shopaholic, and someone who is documenting her project Pan journey. And that really caught my attention. Then I watched one of her videos and immediately understood why so many people are relating to her. She explained that she started Project Pan because she wanted to walk through the overwhelming amount of beauty products she has accumulated over the years. Out of curiosity, I clicked her page and I realized this isn't just another Declutter with Me series. She's actually committing to using what she already owns instead of constantly buying more. One of the most eye-opening videos she shared was a simple inventory of her collection. She categorized everything she owned: body care, fragrance, hair care, makeup, nail products, skincare. When she totaled it all up, the number was gagging approximately 900 beauty products. Seeing that number written down is completely different experience from actually looking at shelves full of products. An inventory forces you to confront the reality of what you have accumulated. And that's exactly why so many people avoid doing Project Pan. What I found refreshing is that Rosa isn't pretending this happened overnight. She's openly acknowledging that her collection became excessive. And instead of chasing the next viral product, she's trying to use what she already have. She has been documenting her journey since January, giving us regular updates on her progress, showing empties, and sharing the reality that Project Pan is much slower than social media make it feel. For anyone unfamiliar with Project Pan, it's a community that is focused on using up the products you already own before buying replacements. The goal isn't perfection or never shopping again. It's about becoming more intentional, reducing waste, and breaking that habit of constantly buying and constantly consuming.
So through Project Pan 2026, we are tackling the over 884 items that I have in my home, 458 of them being beauty, and 59 of them being blush. We're gonna go through everything I have, all the brands, and declutter just a little bit. I do declutter every year, believe it or not, so it won't be a huge declutter, but I do wanna show you what I'm working with. I have 10 blush palettes. Off the top, this Huda Beauty one is brand new and I love it, so it's definitely staying in my standard collection. This Mally Beauty one is so old. This honestly has to be like 10 years old. I actually loved this. I just didn't get a lot of use out of it. This highlight is one of the best highlights I've ever tried. It's beautiful. But I am decluttering this because it is so old and I just have so much more in my collection that I want to use up. The next one is this Alma Cosmetics. These actually have hit pan on a couple of them, so I'm gonna try to Project Pan them. This is a little bit older, but I use it for travel and haven't had any issues. This is an e.l.f. blush palette. I wanted something a little bit deeper and darker in my collection, so I picked this up. I really did like it at the time, and it's still so pretty. I'm on the fence about this one. It's a maybe. These three were new to my collection in 2025 and I am obsessed. I would buy every single color if I didn't own so much blush already, but these are definitely a keep in my standard collection. And then these three are brand new. They're gonna go in my backup stash to allow myself to shop from it when I'm through some of this other stuff. My current problem area is definitely liquid and cream blush. You guys have got me these last 2 years with this being all over the place, but I do have to start working through some of this before I can buy more. My favorite brand, and definitely staying in my collection, is Denisa. And then these two mini Denisa.
One of the things that really stood out for me with her is when she started going through her blush collection, she said, "We are tackling 884 products, and I have 458 of them being beauty products, 59 being blush. I mean, blush that you apply on your cheekbone or your cheek, depending. Just pause for a second. 59 blushes. For some people like me, blush is one of those products that takes months, sometimes years to finish. So someone owning almost 60 of them isn't really about option anymore. Is a perfect example of how beauty marketing convinces us that every slightly different shade is a necessity. As she continued sorting through her collection, she showed palette after palette. Some were brand new, some had visible pan, and some of them were around some years. Instead of holding on to something purely because she once loved it, she's asking herself a more practical question, which is, am I realistically going to use them? She also admitted that several palettes was purchased on 2025 and were still practically untouched. Others were so new that she hardly even started using them yet. Think about that for a moment. If you are still buying products that haven't even made it into your regular rotation, your collection has probably grown beyond what you can realistically enjoy. What I also appreciated was that she identified her own weak spots. She admitted that liquid and cream blushes became her problem area over the last couple of years. That level of self-awareness is important because overconsumption usually isn't random. Some of us have a category we keep buying onto, whether it's blush, it's lip gloss, perfume, skincare, eyeshadow, and that's exactly how beauty collection quietly spiral out of control, not because we need this product, but because every launch promise a slightly better formula, a trendy shade, or a finish we supposedly don't already own. By recognizing that pattern and saying, I need to work through this before I buy more, she's doing something that beauty content really encourage. She's choosing satisfaction over constant consumption.
Through Project Pan 2026, we're tackling the 884 beauty items I have in my collection, 458 of them being makeup, and today we're tackling bronzers. It's definitely one of the smaller sections. I have two face palettes. This Lorac is from December of 2024, and I only use it for travel, and it actually can quite a bit in 2025, so I am going to go ahead and try to Project Pan this. The only other face palette in my collection, so I went ahead and grouped it with the bronzers, is this one for Makeup Forever that I wanted for travel, so my parents bought me for Christmas. Definitely a keep. I have 14 liquid and cream bronzers. Definitely my problem area. This happened because this was my favorite contour at the time. It was being discontinued, so I stocked up at Ulta, but I don't need this many. I'm gonna try to Project Pan this, and then this is going in my backup stash. Hopefully I can give at least one of these away. This Hourglass is actually a concealer in the color Almond that I use as a contour. I got it last year and I love it, so keep. This was an old love that I refound late last year. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow in Call Me Maple, definitely a keep. I have gone through quite a few of these Milk makeups in the color Baked. This is their full size, but I love how small they are for travel, so that's what I typically use them for, so keep. The LYS Contour Stick and the House Labs are my two favorite, so definitely keep. The Fenty Beauty was my old favorite, still really good and almost done, so definitely Project Panning this. This is brand new from MCO Beauty, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my backup stash as something I can shop when I'm through a couple of items. And then I got two of these for Christmas in the color Spicy Season. I definitely don't need two of them and they're both unopened, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these in backup stash. This I got on clearance during Huda Beauty sale. This is in the color Medium, it's her Tantour. I think this is gonna be discontinued, but it's brand new to me, so keep. Another one of my cream bronzers is the Charlotte Tilbury. I absolutely love this,
and this video she moved to her bronzers, and this part really highlights how easy it is for a collection to grow without us noticing. By the end of her count, she revealed that she owns 25 bronzers. Again, that's a number that sounds almost unreal when you think about how long it takes to finish one. As she went through them, there was a pattern that kept repeating. Some products were only used for travel, others were backup. Few have been purchased because they were on sale and because they were being discounted discounted, and several were completely brand new, waiting in a backstash until she finished other products. That last point is very fascinating, to be sincere. A backstash has become so normalized in the beauty community that people rarely stop to question. But when you think about it, buying products today to use years from now only ties up your money and increase the chance of you to lose interest before you get to use them. She also admitted that cream bronzers became one of her biggest problem areas. She explained that when one of her favorite products was discontinued, she started stocking up because she was afraid they couldn't be able to replace it. That's something marketers understand extremely well, and I think I have explained this in my previous video. Fear of missing out doesn't only apply to limited edition release, it also applies to those discounted products. Once we believe something might disappear forever, we suddenly feel pressures to buy multiples, even if we already own enough that will last for months or even years. Throughout the video, she pointed out products she genuinely loves, products that were almost finished, and products she replaced to save until later. I actually think there is a healthy shift. Instead of pretending every purchase was necessary, she's acknowledging that she already has more than enough and needs to focus on using what she owns. To me, the biggest takeaway from this isn't that she has 25 bronzer. It's how each one represents a different buying habit: shopping sale, buying backups, collecting favorite, purchasing for travel, stocking up because of scarcity. Individually, each purchase probably feel reasonable, but together they created a collection that is far larger than one could realistically use before they expire or even go bad. And that's exactly how overconsumption happens, not through one who's shopping spree, but through dozens of purchases that all seem justified at the moment we were shopping.
Through Project Pan 2026, I'm working through 884 of the beauty items that I have in my home. Outside of eyeshadow for eyes, I have 62 products to work through. There are a lot of categories within here, so let's dive in. The category that I probably behave the best in, just because I go through products so quickly, is brows. I have 16 brow products. 6 of them are brow pencils and 10 of them are brow gels. For brow gels, I have this tinted one that I didn't really love and I got in Allure. We'll definitely be able to project pan this. This is one of my newer ones. It's the MCO Beauty Brow Laminate and I really enjoy this, so key. This is the W7 Brow Grip. This works really, really well, but flakes like crazy. So this is my first declutter. This is from the brand $1 Billion Brows and it is a brow gel. I've only used it like twice, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to use this. A new product to me is the 24 Brow Sweater from Benefit. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in backup stash so I can shop from when I get through some of this product. This is the Marlena Scott Brow Gel from TikTok. I've actually used one of these already. So this is a backup. It is brand new. This is like cement for your brows. It really is only for like nights out. I don't really use this for everyday use, so it does take me quite a while to get through this, but I am going to put it in backup storage since it's brand new. The Rare Beauty Brow Gel is hands down my favorite brow gel. This is the one I'm currently working on and I'm almost done with it. I have 3 backups of this that my cousin has for me, so we're stocked for at least a couple months. For brow products, I have 6. I have this Fenty Beauty one. I didn't love this, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to project pan it this year. This is my favorite. Anything from Anastasia Beverly Hills, I absolutely love. So this is brand new. It'll be in backup stash to shop from. These 2 are Lake Rain dupes for the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, and I actually really enjoy this. I'm almost done with this one.
Rosa then moved to her eye products, and once again, the number was surprisingly high. She explained that excluding eyeshadows, she has 64 eye products to walk through. Imagine. And that includes her brow pencil, brow gel, brow wax, and other products designed to essentially do the same purpose. As she sorted through everything, she pointed out which products worked well, which one flaked, which one dried out, and which one she was finally ready to declutter. Some of the products were nearly empty, while others were completely brand new and immediately placed into what she calls her back trash. That phrase kept coming up throughout the video, back trash. It's interesting because it shows how beauty collection evolved. You are no longer buying products to use today. You are buying products for a future version of yourself who eventually finish everything you already own. The reality is that future often takes much longer than we expect. Rosa also mentioned having backups of products she already loves. I also want to add that there's absolutely nothing wrong with having backups. I use this baby oil that I use currently. This oil is almost almost out, but I already have a backup that I bought. When I bought it, I bought two. Now that this one is almost out, I have another to keep up. Okay, so she mentioned that she have backup of products she already loves, which is fine. She had replacements waiting for her favorite brand products on open duplicate and even affordable alternatives that she bought because they perform similarly to a higher end version. And again, none of these purchases seems unreasonable on their own. Buying a backup of your favorite brow gel makes sense. Picking up a dupe because it's on sales seems harmless. Okay, trying a new viral product feels exciting. I mean, sometimes we tend to get our favorite product from trying another product. Problem is when this habit repeats over months and years, you end up with drawers full of products waiting for their turn.
33 eyeshadow products in my collection, 5 of those being single eyeshadows that I'm going to tackle for Project Pan, and 28 are palettes. So we'll start with the 5 singles that I have in my collection. The first one being NARS in Sophia that I actually use for a travel size bronzer. So this is a keep. This one is from Benefit. It is literally an archive. It is so old and somehow it is still beautiful and creamy, but I'm not putting this in my eyeballs. Today we are tackling highlighters. Y'all tried to convince me in 2025 that highlighters were whack, so I didn't buy a lot in 2025, but I do have a couple in my stash that I just couldn't part ways with. Let's go through them. I have 17 total highlighters, 6 of them being liquid highlighters that are all new from 2025, so I am gonna keep. I have 2 of the Charlotte Tilbury Wands face powders. Let's go through them. Off the top, these Juvia's Place ones were on super sale and I heard so many good things about them. Very light too for under my eyes and it's all about that base. I own 23 concealers and 1 corrector. At the beginning of 2025, I only had like 2 or 3. So obviously I went crazy. I have this Win Beauty one that I bought at Ulta. I have this Fenty Matchstick, which I don't love under my eyes because I'm really dry and it tends to be a little bit of a drier stick, but I'm going to try to pan this by using it on my face. Today, we're tackling setting and primer. I have 28 total, 9 of them being primer. One of them is just a Milani staple packet. I do enjoy this, but this should be done in like 2 uses. Today, we're tackling skincare. I have 122 skincare items in my collection and about 60 of them, so half, are minis. This will give me a ton of wins during Project Pan. These are all unopened and I am gonna keep them for travel. And then these are the minis and samples I'm going to try to work through Project Pan.
Continued her inventory. The numbers keep adding up. She revealed that she owns 33 eyeshadow products, including 20 eyeshadow palettes. Then she moved on to highlighters. She said she doesn't think she has so many, but after counting everything, she realized she owns 17 highlighters, and 6 of them were purchased in 2025 alone. She also explained she has 57 base products, including 23 concealer, 15 face powders, 9 primers, 2 bronzing drops. What really caught my attention was her explanation for the concealers. She admitted that at the beginning of 2025, she only owned 2 or 3. Then clearance sales happened, and before you know it, her collection grew to 23 concealers. This is such an important point because it challenges the idea of overconsumption is always driven by luxury shopping or impulse buying at full price. Sometimes it's the bargains that gets to us. Clearance sales creates the feeling that we are saving money, and actually we are. But if we keep buying products we don't actually need, we are still spending money that we planned. A 70% discount isn't really a bargain if the product will sit unopened in a drawer for the next 2 years. This is exactly why retailers love those clearance events. They shift our attention away from asking, do I need this? Will I be able to use this? And the question now is, can I afford to miss this deal? And no, you can't, because why not? By the time Rosa finished counting everything, a pattern has become impossible to ignore. The issue wasn't one oversized purchase, it was dozens of small decisions, buying because something was new, discounted, highly recommended, or available at limited time. Each purchase felt justified at its own, but together they resulted to nearly 900 products. And I think that's why Project Pan resonated with so many people, because a lot of people see themselves. There are a lot of people who watch this video that are not creators, but they are sitting in their home filled with products. This is not about shaming people for owning large collection. It's about showing in real time how possible these ordinary shopping habits can snowball far bigger than we ever intended. When she finally got to skincare, the scale of her collection has become more apparent. She revealed she owns 122 skincare products, and around 60 of them are in minis and samples. At first, that might not sound too bad because they are just minis, but that's actually one of the easiest ways collection become overwhelming. Mini products feels harmless. They are often free gifts, travel size reward, subscription box item, or little extra added to an order because we don't always buy them directly. We rarely think of them as contributing to the clutter. Yet when she counted them, they ended up half of her skincare. And she explained that many of the unopened minis are safe for travels, while the open samples are what she will plan to work with first. For the sake of time, she focused mainly on the full-size products because there were simply so many items to cover up in her one video. I actually think this highlights another side of overconsumption that doesn't get discussed enough. Companies knows that the free samples encourage future purchase, but they also normalize accumulating products faster than we could use them. Once sample becomes 5, becomes 20, before long, you have an entire drawer dedicated to products you never intended collecting. And because each one is so small, they don't feel like they count until you do this inventory. This makes her project plan so interesting. She isn't just counting expensive full-size products, she's counting everything because every bottle, tube, sachet, and samples take up space and represent something she will eventually have to use, declutter, or even throw away. I also think this is a good reminder that having more skincare doesn't necessarily mean having a better skincare routine. More dermatologists recommend consistency over constantly switching between products. If your cabinet is so full that you forgot what you own and can't finish products before they expire, the collection has probably grown beyond was actually useful. After watching her project plan journey, I don't think the biggest takeaway is that she owns nearly 900 beauty products. The real takeaway is how she got there. It wasn't one massive shopping spree. It was years of buying products on sale, stocking up favorite, picking up backups before they were discontinued, accepting free samples, trying viral launches, and letting herself that each purchase was reasonable. That's exactly how overconsumption works. Most people don't wake up one day and decide to own hundreds of beauty products. It happens one treat yourself purchase at a time, one clearance deal at a time, one influencer recommendation at a time. What makes Rosa content refreshing is that she's not glamorizing the size of her collection. She's using it and learning experience and inviting others to reflect on their own shopping habits. Up till now, she's still updating her followers how the project plan is going. I hope more beauty creators start sharing this side of the industry, not just the hauls, but the reality that comes after the excitement fades away. The most sustainable product isn't the newest on the shelf, it's the one you already own. I would love to know what you think. Have you ever counted your makeup or your skincare collection? Did the numbers surprise you? Let me know in the comment below. If you watch this video and want more commentary on beauty overconsumption, influencer culture, and mindful shopping, don't forget to like, subscribe. I am Blessing, and I will see you in the next video.